Hi, Paul here from Trekitt, and here I am doing another one of my lockdown Q&A videos. I've got the camera on the tripod. I hope I've got the settings all right, and I hope I've got the sound right, so I hope you can hear me okay. And I'm out today on quite a beautiful spring day. I think the last time I was sat here, it was about -3 or 4 degrees. I was freezing cold, sat in my lovely Rab Infinity down jacket, trying to stay warm. But today it's quite the opposite. It's beautiful. It's about 11 or 12 degrees, I'd say, and it's quite lovely. The flowers are coming up, the birds are singing. It's absolutely beautiful. So anyway, I'm here today to give you another of one of my Q&A lockdown videos. We've had loads of questions, so thanks very much for sending your questions in. There's been some really interesting ones. There's been some that made me chuckle. And there's some that, quite frankly, if you don't know the answer, you shouldn't be going out into the hills. But anyway, I shall endeavour to answer as many as I can. And we'll start with one from PDX Eric. And I know that Eric is over in the States, and you know, we don't have a lot of customers in the States, but Eric does seem to like our YouTube channel, so he's asked us a few questions. So I thought it only fair to get one or two of them answered for him. So he's asked, well, he said that he's hoping to head back to Chamonix this year or next year, COVID permitting. Good on you, Eric. Beautiful place of the world. And he's going to do some hut to hut, some hiking amongst the refuges. And would he be better off with a full-blown mountaineering boot or with a, just a good regular hiking boot? Well, to be honest, it depends what you're doing when you get to the refuges or when you get to the huts. If you're simply going from hut to hut and you're staying at those kind of altitudes and you're not planning on going on further and getting more altitude and ascending a little higher, then a regular hiking boot, a good kind of 3-ish season hiking boot would suffice. You know, the paths are still going to be fairly rough and ready, even though they're well marked and well signposted. You're going to be on uneven ground and you need as much support and stability in your boot as possible. So just a good hiking boot will suffice. And if you do come across, you know, a little bit of patch of snow and ice, or maybe a sort of small glacier crossing, you can always whip out your Kartula micro spikes or something like a lightweight crampon, a Kartula KTS crampon, something that will fit on most hiking boots, and that'll give you that bit of security on any steep snow and ice. And also, if you're going to go on from the refuge and you're going to go up higher, you're going to go and bag a peak, or you're going to go and do a little bit of climbing or maybe some scrambling, then yes, definitely you will need a full-blown mountaineering boot. You're going to need that extra stability, that extra security. You're going to be able to need to put on a more technical crampon. Hello, Nelly. And you're going to need that support and structure around your foot. So really, Eric, it depends on your plan. If you're just going from hut to hut, a hiking boot is fine. If you're going on higher, you will need that mountaineering boot. Okay, next question. This one comes from Jonesmark_1. So I'm going to hazard a guess that your first name's Mark. I'm going to call you Mark. I hope you don't mind. And Mark asks, what's on your checklist for an overnight wild camp in the hills? I think what I was trying to do here was give you kind of my core basics. So we'll make the assumption that we've got a good layering system on, we've got a full set of waterproofs, we've got appropriate clothing for the weather and for the location, and you've got the right footwear. So we'll take that as a given that we're dressed appropriately, and the rest of the kit we'll go through bit by bit. So this is what I would be carrying in my pack, so to speak, for that overnight adventure. Obviously, you're going to need a tent. Hello, Nelly. My favourite at the moment, I've used many in the past, right back to a Vango Force 10 when I was in the Scouts, which weighed about 400 kilos. But anyway, right now I'm using an MSR Hubba NX1 or an NX Solo if you're in the States. And I just like that tent. Being 6'3", I like to have plenty of room in the tent, and for a one-man tent, it does offer plenty of length inside the sleeping compartment, and it's got good sit-up height, nice taut internal walls, and plenty of space in the vestibule for cooking, etc. in foul weather. So that's my go-to at the moment, that Hubba NX1. Sleeping bag, I'm a bit of a cold sleeper. I don't like to be cold. I'm getting on a bit and I do feel the cold. So I always carry a sleeping bag that's probably a little warmer than I need, but it's as warm as I want, I guess. And what I'm using at the moment is the Mountain Equipment Helium 600. It's a good kind of 3-4 season bag. I'm using it in the XL version because I'm tall. And it's really important to be able to get inside the bag and pull the hood right down over your head and close it up properly without feeling restricted. And I'm using that in conjunction with my own Sin Mat Winter HL. It's a lightweight winter rated mat that's insulated inside. So it's really important to combine your mat and your sleeping bag to make sure that they match. So what you don't want is kind of a expedition weight sleeping bag and then a inadequate little foam mat, because that's just not going to keep you warm because the cold comes up from the ground most of the time. So you want a mat underneath your sleeping bag that's as warm, if not warmer, than the sleeping bag itself. It's the combination of the two that work together to keep you warm. Stove, I've been using a jet ball flash for many years and I see no reason to change. It suits me. I just use it for brewing up for tea or coffee, and I tend to use freeze-dried food when I'm out for 1 or 2 days, maybe a little bit longer. So I'm just boiling water. So the jet ball flash works really, really well. Talking of food, I like the Blah Band freeze-dried food. There's a massive variety of menus. It's really tasty. It reconstitutes nicely, and at the end of the day, or even at lunchtime when you're cold and tired, hungry, it fills you up and you know how many calories you're getting because each meal has all the calories on there. So you can kind of, if you're going to be scientific about it and work out how many calories you burnt and how many calories you need to replenish, you can work that out given the information on the packet. So yeah, the Blah Band freeze-dried food, it's lightweight as well and packs up nice and easy. To eat it with, I've got a really nice Optimus titanium long-handled spork. I've got the long-handled one because you can get it right down at the bottom of the packet and get out the last morsels of food without getting your hand all mucky with the freeze-dried packet. So stove, that's food. Water, obviously you're going to need to carry water. I've kind of gone off using hydration bladders, even though they are incredibly versatile. And to be honest, for when I'm popping out on the bike for a few hours, it's perfect. But for hiking, I tend to prefer a water bottle. I think because it makes me stop, makes me have a little rest, makes me, you've got to stop, you've got to get your bottle out, you've got to drink from it. And it just kind of slows me down. And I quite like that. I don't want to be rushing around up in the mountains. I just want to take my time and enjoy the view. So I use a water bottle, a 1 litre Nalgene, classic, and then I take a water filter with me. I use the MSR Trail Shot, because invariably in the UK, you can always find a puddle, a stream, a lake, a pond, a river, somewhere. And the Trail Shot just gives you that added security and health benefits, making sure you're getting good, clean water from whatever supply you're taking it from. There was always that thing again, harking back to my days in the Scouts, our scout leader used to say, don't drink from the stream, there might be a dead sheep up there. I mean, are the hillsides littered with dead sheep in streams? I don't know, I don't think so. But anyway, that's just something that stuck with me, sorry, a bit random. So yeah, MSR Trail Shot and a 1 litre bottle. That means you can carry 1 litre of water and you can just top it up whenever you need. Oh, here's Margot. Hello, Margot. Okay, so I know we touched on clothing earlier, but the sort of one concession I will take to taking some extra bits of clothing. Hey, quiet. Are spare socks. Thank you, Margot. Yeah, spare socks. So I always carry 2 or 3 spare pairs of clean socks. There's nothing better than putting on a clean, fresh pair of socks in the morning, particularly if you've been up to your knees in a peat bog the day before. So yeah, clean, dry socks. And the other thing I always take clothing-wise is a spare insulated jacket, either a sort of lightweight down or a synthetic jacket. To be honest, I normally pack my Atom LT, my Arc'teryx Atom LT. It's my kind of go-to everything jacket. Packs down nice and small, and it just gives you that extra bit of insulation for an evening when you stop, or if you stop for lunch. Just pop on an extra layer if it's cold. So always take that. Clothing wise. And then talking of stopping, something that a piece of kit that I used a lot in the mountain rescue team is a bothy shelter, and that's just kind of stayed with me. And I always like to carry a lightweight 1 to 2 man bothy shelter Even if I'm on my own, if it's tipping down with rain and you just want to get a brew on, or you want to stop for lunch, or you've got to do a bit of first aid, you can throw it over yourself and create an instant shelter, get out of the wind and the rain, and just protect yourself to stay warm and dry. It packs up about the size of an orange, takes up no room in your pack, and it really is such a versatile and useful bit of kit. So I'd recommend you always carry one. As well as a first aid kit. I use the Life Systems first aid kits. They come, fully packed with everything you need, and then you can just replenish them as you use the bits and pieces. Again, pack up nice and small, and everything's clearly labelled, very easy to use. What else have we got? Toothbrush and toothpaste. Don't take the whole tube, just squeeze a bit into a little Nalgene pot or something like that. There's no point in taking the whole thing for weight wise. Assorted dry bags. I'm a big fan of Exped Fold dry bags in various weights, colours, sizes, etc. Just help to organise the kit inside the bag, help to protect it from the rain and dust and muck, etc. And then it does mean that you can use one of the medium to large bags with your insulated jacket stuffed inside as a pillow at night. Saves taking a pillow. I know pillows, air pillows don't weigh much, but it's just something else that you just don't need to take. Keep your kit nice and condensed and lightweight. Map and compass. I'm a bit old school. I do like a map, and I do like a proper compass, even though I've got the OS app on my phone as a last resort. But I do like to rely on my nav skills, and I just like maps. So obviously the right map for the area is a big help, obviously. Compass wise, my Silver Type 4 I've had since I was in the Scouts. So that is nearly 40 years old, and it's got a little tachometer on it so I can count my paces and do my steps and things. And it's still going strong. It's a brilliant, brilliant compass. It's getting a bit worn out and you can hardly read some of the base plate markings, but it still works. It's a great compass. And then kind of health and hygiene wise, I'll take maybe 2 or 3 J-cloths, because you can use them for wiping up pots and pans, wiping up your pits, having a quick submariners in the morning, and some loo roll. Just a few sheets of loo roll in a poly bag, keep it dry, and a lighter to dispose of it afterwards. I'll take a head torch. What do I take? My Black Diamond Spot head torch I've had for a long time. No reason to change it. It's just a good, reliable torch, plenty of light, enough to see for walking around or even walking in the dark on uneven terrain. So yeah, Black Diamond Spot head torch. And then I'll take trail snacks, emergency rations we used to call them, but you always ate them, didn't you? You never saved them for an emergency, you just ate them. So I'll take some really nice dark chocolate. I'm a big fan of dark chocolate, and it's not too sugary. You don't get such a sugar spike from it. And I like dried fruits and nuts, dates, apricots, that kind of thing, nuts and raisins. Just, food that I like to eat and is easy to eat, because sometimes you just want to, pop your hand into your side pocket, your rucksack, pull out a couple of jelly babies, something like that. Jelly baby is always a good one. Sweet, always a little instant sugar rush, give you that little hit of joy. Oh, sorry about that, Nelly just walked into the tripod. So take along stuff that you like to eat as a snack, and then you've always got something tasty if you're feeling a little bit low. And then just to finish that off, a little bit of a sneaky one this, I do like to take a little hip flask with a nice single malt in it. So at the end of the day, when you've had your meal and you're lying in your sleeping bag, maybe looking out the door at some fabulous sunset in some beautiful spot, a little nip of Lafroig, which is my current favourite, just warms your belly and just finishes the day off beautifully. So yeah, that's about it, I think, and all that packs up into my Talon 44 and weighs around 9 kilos, and that would be enough. 9 kilos is around, that's taking into account food and water for just an overnighter. So obviously if you're going for 2 or 3 days, you take more food, maybe some more spare socks, maybe a little bit spare clothing. But personally, I wouldn't want to be carrying more than about 12 to 15 kilos of weight for any length of time, and I wouldn't want to be carrying anything bigger than a 40-ish litre rucksack. You go bigger, you tend to overfill it and it'll be too heavy, and you're taking stuff you don't really need, to be honest. So yeah, that's my list. I hope that was helpful. I think we're going to finish it off there because that was quite a long one, wasn't it? Thanks very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. The dogs have enjoyed it. They're sat here chewing sticks. I've enjoyed it. It's beautiful sunshine. And until next time, thanks for watching. Toodaloo.